It is time for double game week 25, and we need to talk about the best players to own going into this weekend, as well as what to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold after he went off injured in their game week 24 fixture. So in today's video, I will be going through my transfer plan. So as always, if you're new around here, please do consider dropping a like, aim for 300 on this video. And as always, if you could smash the subscribe button, it is always massively appreciated. So enough chit-chatting, let's get into today's video. So first up, we need to look at how I'm getting on so far in game week 24, and it's safe to say it has been a fantastic game week so far. I'm about an 80k green arrow to 140,000, 78 points in the two transfers that I did make, and you can see them in the corner there. Gordon and Dominic Solanke to Jota and Darwin have paid off massively, and I'm really happy with how this game week has gone. The 12-pointer from Gabriel, I thought I had messed up when I benched Saliba's 12-pointer. Of course, I wish I had Saliba's points as well, but it is what it is. Gabriel coming in clutch with that goal once again. Porro really disappointed, and of course Trent going off injured. We will talk about that in a minute. The midfielders, as I mentioned, Jota stepping up with that goal, and I'm really happy to have him going into double game week 25. Bukayo Saka, you can't doubt this guy. He is carrying this Arsenal attack right now on his back, and a 15-pointer to go alongside that. I'm so happy that I kept the faith with him, what others may have looked at him as a bit of a cash cow to get to the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. Phil Foden, we can let him off. He had the hat-trick previous game week, 3-pointer this week. I'm still really happy to have him for this double game week. I don't see him losing his place or at least having a whole game off. So I think he's perfectly fine for this double. And of course, still Cole Palmer to play. He's around 80% owned at my current rank, so it will be still some points in my favour, but not many. So I don't think my overall rank is going to change too much between now and tonight. And the front three, Darwin Núñez, could have been a couple more, but I'm happy with the 6-pointer. Haaland coming in clutch. I think we all thought we had got the captaincy wrong here, but thankfully he did deliver, and that right foot finish was absolutely sensational. And Ollie Watkins with a 2-pointer, maybe a little bit of a concern, but we only have to cast our minds back to a previous game week where we thought he was absolutely essential. So no concerns right now regarding Ollie Watkins. Of course, he does play in the blank game week 26, which is really, really important for those that aren't free hitting. Now, I mentioned about the situation with Trent. I'm going to put up a quote here taken from FPL News over on Twitter. Now, it's safe to say right now, there's no real clear indication of how Trent's injury is actually going to affect him long term. We will have press conferences going into the game week 25 deadline, so please do hold off on any moves right now because we need to find out what the extent of it is. So this is taken from Klopp after the game. Same area in the knee, not really bad, but he felt it again. Trent said, no, it's fine, but it's not fine. He feels it, so we need to be careful and take him off. We literally are not getting any information from that. I think we'll get something, whether it be from Klopp or from some sort of news outlet like The Athletic, for example, which will give us a bit of an indication whether he is going to miss both games of the double, one or neither. So for now, the advice is to hold off and be patient, but I do think we need to consider what our alternative plans are going to be if Trent looks like he's going to be out for at least one of the games in the double game week. But 78 points, a massive green arrow. Let's take a look at the plans going into game week 25. So first up, and I keep saying it to you guys who are regular watchers, we need to be looking at the fixtures. We're in the business end of the season right now where we have blanks and double game weeks, and also uncertainty about future game weeks. So this should be your holy grail right now. Shout out to Ben Crellin over on Twitter. This needs to be your wallpaper on your home computer, on your phone. It needs to be on your wall in your bedroom. It is that important right now. So this is why I think it's so important. We need to make sure that we are prioritizing the doubles, because end of the day, double game weeks equal opportunities for you, because end of the day, you're getting a player that plays 180 minutes as opposed to 90. We also need to be considerate of game weeks like 26, where you are going to have a blank, and also a consideration to game week 29 if you're not planning on free hitting. Now, to give a bit of context on my team right now, I'm looking to use my triple captain in game week 25. I don't plan on using my free hit in game week 26, and I also don't plan on using my free hit in game week 29. Now, obviously, game week 29 looks really messy right now, but I think with the teams that are definitely playing, Brentford, Villa, Burnley, Fulham, West Ham and Tottenham, and of course, we will probably have a few more games on top of that, I just don't really think I want the free hit, because I can get the main players that I would want from those teams, and just accept that if I'm fielding 9 players, it is what it is. Maybe I won't be having a Senesi from Bournemouth or, a Burnley goalkeeper, but it is what it is sometimes. And I think the value of holding your free hit for later on in the season is way more important. So looking at the fixtures right now, I just always like to cast my mind to exactly what I'm doing going forward. Because, for example, if we're looking to bring in Luton and Liverpool players for the double game week 25, is that really going to be valuable enough to know that you then have a blank player in game week 26? And for that very reason, I don't think Liverpool and Luton are now essential. Game week 24 was the time where we really should have jumped in on them. Brentford, on the other hand, are a team that really do need to be a consideration for us, because even though double game week 25 isn't amazing, they play in blank game week 26 and they're guaranteed to play in blank game week 29. So they are definitely on my radar right now, as are the likes of Villa, even though they don't double, and West Ham. I know they lost 6-0, but they are still a consideration for my team. Now, one thing I think is really, really important, and we do need to note, is that blank game week 29 will be confirmed before the game week 27 deadline. We have the FA Cup fixtures, and the winners of those will basically dictate what happens in game week 29. So if you can put yourself in a luxury position where you can roll your free transfer at any point, I think we can get some real value from it. I don't think we need to necessarily prioritise game week 29 unless you're going for the ones that have confirmed fixtures in game week 29. But game week 27 deadline is super important, not only for game week 27, but for your future plans for game week 29. And if you could roll a transfer in game week 26 to give yourself 2 going into game week 27, then we can really start to plan our teams long term. So I just wanted to make sure you did have a note of that in your minds. Next up, we need to take a look at a potential Trent Alexander-Arnold replacement if we want to go there in FPL. Okay, so it's time to take a look at some potential replacements for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And just to make it really clear, first up, do not be making any moves right now. We will get some information between now and the deadline, so patience is really important over this period. And secondly, it might even be a case of keeping Trent. There is an argument that maybe the alternatives aren't really that much better. And if we were to just get maybe Trent for the Luton at home game, that game in isolation might be better than any other player that we consider for a double. And then rolling the transfer going into the blank game week 26 is actually a feasible strategy. I also want to note, I'm not including Arsenal players in here, mainly because I have both Saliba and Gabriel, but I do think Arsenal defenders are a consideration for your team. If you don't own one, then I think Gabriel is a great alternative to Trent. He doesn't have a double at any point, but he plays in blank game week 26, and they are just simply the best defence in the league right now. And I also haven't included a Man City defender, and I can't lie, it's because I don't know who to target. I would have said Kyle Walker, but he's been benched in the last 2. Gvardiol was benched. Ake looks safe for minutes, but I just don't really know if he is going to be. If you think there is a certain defender in that Man City team that is going to play every single minute, then I really do like the Man City team because they double in 25 and they play in blank game week 26. But personally, I just have no confidence over any defender playing both games in the double, and you need to have guaranteed minutes over that period. So for me, I'm going to say avoid Man City defence, but if you're confident, then go for one. But the 3 that I've put on the screens here are slightly different in their own right. I've got for Van Dijk at 6.4 million. This is just a natural replacement in this Liverpool defence. I don't know about Robertson's game time alongside Joe Gomez. I don't know whether Conor Bradley comes in and plays every minute. Van Dijk, we know, is going to play both games and is a set-piece threat and a bonus point magnet as well. So I really like Van Dijk. My only worry about Van Dijk is that you're using a free transfer, and I personally don't think Brentford away is a guaranteed clean sheet for Liverpool. Then they have the Luton at home game. So we need to ask ourselves, is Trent to Van Dijk to then just blank in game week 26 really worth one of our free transfers? And right now, I think the answer is no. I've got the gut feeling that I concede against Brentford. So then we're all in on the Luton game, and I just don't really think there is much value in that move, but it is a consideration if you are looking to still get some ownership in the Liverpool defence. Pau Torres, I think, is a really interesting one. Now, I wouldn't be going there until we had clarification that he is ready to start, because I think he's one of the few players that Unai Emery would play every single minute of every single game if he could. But he has been injured, returned to the bench in their game against Man United. And I do think Pau Torres is the number 1 defender to go for in this Aston Villa team. I think Matty Cash could be a consideration, but I don't know whether he is going to play every single minute. Now, Pau Torres is interesting because Villa don't double, but I think the fixtures long-term are quite nice. Fulham away isn't terrible, Forest in the blank in game week 26, followed by Luton, and importantly, a guaranteed game in game week 29. I should have stated Liverpool's game in 29, which is currently away against Everton, is likely to be a blank. So you need to take that in consideration as well when we are looking at our long-term replacements. Villa's game in 29, of course, as I said, is confirmed to be playing as well. The other one that I think is really interesting and less than 1% owned is going to be Brentford's Reguilon at 4.4 million. He's a great budget enabler. Is he going to play every minute for Brentford? I think that is the big question mark right now, because I think he does come in. He's been taking the place of Rico Henry in his absence, but he's also had his own injury concerns, Reguilon. If he can maintain fitness, I think he's an amazing differential. He doubles in game week 25. Do I expect a clean sheet in either? No. But I also think he has the potential for attack and returns. And then after that, he plays in game week 26, and of course he plays in game week 29. So Brentford are one of the few teams that tick all of the boxes. Double in 25, play in blank game week 26, and plays in blank game week 29. So I'm going to keep my eyes on Reguilon, get a bit of an insight whether he is actually guaranteed to start over this period as long as he's fit. And if he is, I think he could be a fantastic differential. And the downgrade from Trent to Reguilon is going to give you about 4 million to invest elsewhere in your teams. And it might give you an opportunity to bring in someone like a Son later down the line around game week 27. So I think Reguilon's a brilliant differential. I just need a little bit more clarification. Now, I haven't included Luton defenders, and it's worth noting, I never really was bullish on them anyway. I didn't really fancy any of their defenders for a clean sheet over this period. Now, they do double in game week 25, they blank in game week 26, but they do double again in game week 28, and they may play in game week 29. But for me, I think it's really difficult right now to justify a Luton defender in game week 25. They have two incredibly tough fixtures. I don't expect a clean sheet in either. So then you're asking for attack returns, which are few and far between. And then they blank in game week 26. So I think Luton right now is in a void. And then we can look to maybe go back onto them in game week 27 if we do have clarification that their game is going to be on in game week 29. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. For my personal team, I'm very tempted just to go for Reguilon as a long-term move and just accept if he does get injured. He kind of does. Who's your top replacement? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so time to take a look at my team going into game week 25 right now. I've got 0.9 million in the bank and one free transfer available, and I'm really hoping to try and get myself into the top 100k in this game week. That was the plan for a while now, and I just hope I've got my team in place well enough. So going through it right now, Dubravka in goal. There could be consideration maybe to go for a Luton goalkeeper like Kaminsky, but do I expect a clean sheet? No. But do I expect Kaminsky to outscore Dubravka even if he concedes? And the answer is probably yes. I think he'll accumulate save points, and I think he probably will outscore Dubravka. But is it worth one of my free transfers? I just don't think it is right now. So I'm going to keep Dubravka in goal definitely, because we do have a situation obviously with Trent Alexander-Arnold right now. Now we've touched on the best replacements. I already have double Arsenal, so Trent out to a Liverpool defender could be a consideration, but again, then I'm not really preparing myself very well for game week 26. So I think I'm just going to avoid Liverpool defence as a replacement. And I think Reguilon is currently top of my radar. I've touched on the pros and cons of him. While I don't think he will get a clean sheet this game week, I do think he offers attacker potential, and I just need to assess whether his game time is a risk or not in that Brentford team. But if Jurgen Klopp gives us a little bit of hope, I think I'll maybe just keep Trent and hope that if he doesn't play the Brentford game, he might be back for the Luton game. And that in itself in a one-game week is probably better than any other defender in the game. So Trent right now I'm going to be really patient with. I don't really want to transfer him out unless I have to. And that's worth noting, I do have Saliba who could just easily come in as an auto sub. So I need to really question the transfer that I make for Trent is actually any better than simply bringing in Saliba, because I think probably just having Saliba and double Arsenal defence against this Burnley attack might be the route to go for. So I need a little bit of thought on that. Pedro Porro, he is really annoying me right now, but I just can't really justify selling him with my situation with Trent. So at home against Wolves, maybe we do get a return to the goal scoring assist machine in Pedro Porro, but for now, he is a bit of a frustrating player. Moving to the midfield, we got the double game week for Phil Foden. Absolutely no worries whatsoever. Garnacho, I'm currently playing over Cole Palmer. I think Man United are starting to really look a little bit better. They can't maintain it for 90, but they're doing it for 45 to 60 minutes. and that is an improvement. And Garnacho has definitely got that spot on the right wing. So he is in the team for now, and he could be a fantastic differential for game week 25. Saka, of course, is staying in the team. He could do really well against that Burnley defence. And Diogo Jota currently with the vice captaincy with that double game week. I'm really happy to have Jota for that week. Moving into the front line, no problems whatsoever. Erling Haaland with the captaincy at home against Chelsea and Brentford, back to his best in game week 24. No considerations to move it anywhere else. Watkins, a little bit frustrating, but again, not worth me selling. Could I bring in an Ivan Toney? Yes, I could, but then I would need to maybe free up some funds elsewhere to make other moves, and I just don't really think it is worth it for the team. And last up, Darwin Núñez. He could be the hero. He could be the hero or the villain, most likely the villain in this double game week. And of course, with the Liverpool Cup final not long after the Luton game, I'm probably expecting a benching from Darwin in one of the two games. And I'm kind of hoping it happens maybe in the Brentford game for a monster haul against Luton. But all in all, I'm happy with the team. The bench is incredibly strong, Saliba and Palmer. And the more I think about it, I've discussed previously how rolling your transfer at any point over this period is going to be incredibly powerful. Maybe just accepting that this team is what it is. And if Trent is ruled out for the double, I have Saliba to come in with a fantastic away fixture against Burnley. And maybe giving myself 2 free transfers going into the blank game week 26 is actually the way to go. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm happy with the team. I've got a few thoughts in place, and let me know what your plans are going into game week 25. Yes, guys, okay, that is going to wrap up today's game week 25 transfer plans video. I really hope it's provided some value. And if you have any questions, please do let me know in the comment section. I'll be sure to answer them between now and the end of the day. That just leaves us to say, make sure you do drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and of course smash that subscribe button. You want to stick around for this week's content because we have a game week 25 preview video dropping, which is going to answer all of those huge hot topics that I know you have on the tip of your tongue. So make sure you are subscribed, make sure you do hit that notification bell, and that just leaves me to say have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Cheers.